Cool. Guys, welcome to
Hey.
the Buddy System podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Higgins.
I'm the other one, Matty Ryan.
And we have a killer guest today,
Devon Walker. Hey,
What's up?
Thanks for coming by, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks
being
for
here.
being in town and doing the pod and
For
taking
sure.
time, dude. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yeah,
This
yeah.
is the first one. This is the first guest we've had where Chris or one of us has never met the guest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. We never met.
And it's called the Buddy System.
Which is weird. I assumed you guys would have known each other because Chris gets out to New York a fair amount.
Yeah.
You know how it is out
Yeah,
there,
true.
though.
It's
It's like
it's
there's
chaos.
so much.
Yeah,
I always
yeah.
tell people like especially because it's like I came up in a scene where it was just like one scene.
Right.
I'd imagine the Chicago stand-up scene
sure.
is like that too, where it's like every single person knows every single person that's like really doing it. I feel
Yeah.
like you go to New York and it's like there are gonna be two people who are going up every single night for a month who never cross
Totally.
paths.
I mean, I lived there for a little over 2 years, and there's people that I maybe met once or zero times.
and who are going up a lot. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like there's just that much shit happening.
Well, like there's like 15 to 30 clubs. I don't even
Yes.
like, and it's including the small ones that are like the storefront box,
The little like
yeah, there's
offshoot
7-night-a-week clubs that
like
you've
the
never.
Sesh type club.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which who I love. I
Yeah.
fucking love Sesh.
Oh, yeah, those
That's
shows are
the
so
fresh
fun.
guys.
Great
But then, not to mention all the like random indie shows that are happening. Like any show at like a barber shop or like whatever. There's like,
Oh yeah,
there
Ronnie
couldn't-
Lorde's show.
You know
That's
what I
a good
mean?
one.
They're
There's
like,
the one I
couldn't-
ran. I helped with COSK for when I lived there. We did every Wednesday and Saturday.
It's the gutter.
yeah. So it's like,
Yeah, you did that a bunch.
CYSK? Yeah, I feel like I pop up a couple times a year.
For sure.
Do you run a show?
I used to run a monthly with my buddies, Alex English and Gary Richardson. We used to do.
I love those guys. Gary used to be a Chicago
Gary's
guy.
a Chicago
Yeah.
guy. And through that, I feel like I got cool with like a lot of less so stand-ups, but all those like seconds, like improv sketch guys,
Right.
like my homie Dan Baz, I know came up out here. Who else? Carmen,
Oh, Legala.
Christopher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Was he
yeah,
Chicago?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
He's from here. He's
No
from here.
shit.
And
Yeah.
like,
I did not
started
know
comedy
that.
here. Yeah. So
But I think
He lives in LA, right?
he's in LA now.
Okay.
But was like in New York for a minute.
I think he was in LA the whole time I was living in New York.
Yes, I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
think so. Because he left probably like right as we came out of the pandemic.
I just drank that so
Were
weird.
you in
Sorry.
New York during the pandemic?
Oh yeah.
So when did you leave Austin?
I was in Austin, so I like started in 2015, like really started. I
Yeah.
did that thing where I like kind of started at like the end of 2014, but like it didn't stick.
Sure.
I couldn't do it yet. And then like that next summer, 2015, I like started. And then just kind of like things started going good kind of quick in a way that I was like, oh, I gotta leave. I was like, cause I don't know. I just didn't want to stick around too long. If
You had
anything,
some heat and you want to like keep it going.
I got a Comedy Central like comics to watch thing like 2 years in.
Wow.
Nice.
Whoa.
That's huge.
Just
So you're one of those unicorns.
I was one,
That's
and
awesome.
especially because like now it feels like you could really like make shit happen from Austin where
Yeah.
I came up, but like back then it was like all right, one person gets JFL every year, and like maybe somebody. Normally nobody got Comedy Central. Normally the JFL guy would come and pick like a guy or girl,
Right.
And that would be like the one shot anybody would get. Like Dismukes came out of Austin,
Yeah.
Okay.
and me and him, like I've known Dismukes like as long as I've done comedy. He got JFL and then got hired as an SNL writer same year, like straight out of college.
Huge.
Wow.
But like that shit never
Never
happened.
happens.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Never. It's like truly like most people grind, like perfect it 10,000 hours type
Yeah.
style.
Yes.
Where were you crushing for 2 years that got you on a Comedy Central? Like what club? What were you?
Like what clubs?
Yeah.
I mean, Cap City is my like home club.
Yeah.
They like the Cap City that exists now though is like an entirely different thing than it used to be.
Did it get bought?
I forget. Yes, because it completely shut down during the pandemic.
Okay.
It like was fully over because it was owned by like Dennis Miller's brother
Okay.
or something like that.
I think I remember that.
He was like somehow involved in the ownership structure and like, but it was like a standalone club, and then it got bought out by Helium during the pandemic.
Oh, so
And
they got you.
yes,
They kind of saved it though, right?
I mean,
In a
it
way.
wouldn't exist as a club if
Yeah.
that hadn't happened. But
Right.
like, it used to be. I always tell people like, what happened at Cap feels so representative to what happened just kind of in the city overall, which is that like the Cap that I started in, my like home club that doesn't exist anymore. It was truly next to like a karate studio and like a used car lot. Like that's
Yeah.
where it used
Yeah.
to be. And now where Cap City is now, it's next to like a Tesla dealership and like a Prada store.
Right.
Okay.
And like
So
that
that's just Austin.
feels like that really feels like the story of the city
For sure.
as it stands. But yeah, I was going up at Cap. I was doing like mad local shows. Like there used to be like, I know there's this perception that like now Austin is like a cool place to do stand up. But for the life of me, anybody who ever was going, I don't know if y'all ever went like pre Rogan and like all the Kill Tony shit.
I wasn't able to travel for comedy
Same.
like that.
Fair.
During that time.
I mean, I never came to Chicago until I could like do zanies.
Right.
Like I guess, I don't know. Some people could do that, but I never figured out how to be like, oh, I'm doing a little self-funded tour. Like, I was
The
like,
Chicago scene had the same thing as Austin you were talking about though, where like every year it was like one person would get a new face, like person would get JFL.
Yeah.
But it would be like, they would look at like 70 people. And then everyone was, I don't know, it would like stress everyone out for like a month.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, where did they pick? Because for us, I'm curious about where they picked from for y'all. Because for us, there was a yearly competition. They have a funniest person in Austin competition. Do y'all have anything like that?
No.
If we did, they exist, but
I think
it's
it would be a
like they're so
bloodbath.
segmented. Where like sometimes even in Chicago, it'll be a lineup of comedians where like you only maybe heard of a couple, and you're like, who's in charge of this competition?
Sure.
You know,
where
like,
it's like it doesn't even, everybody's not even aware of it necessarily.
Right.
Maybe a competition would be nice so that there would be some kind of like meritocracy. It seems like sometimes when JFL auditions or now Netflix auditions come around in Chicago, it's like this ethereal concept that determines who's getting it. And you're like, yeah, exactly what Matty was saying. Like, how did you get here?
Well, and it ends up just being like whoever X person who runs X comedy club or venue or whatever, like whoever they like, it ends up being like, all right, well, it's like, all right, you just like that
for
guy.
sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Also,
for us,
I mean, helping book people for one of those, or like there was a couple of Comedy Central like years in a row where like I helped and like used my show for the Comedy Central audition showcase.
Yeah.
And so they would always shoehorn people in that they wanted to see. A lot of times they weren't even stand-ups.
Oh,
They would be like,
interesting.
they'd be like comedians, but like someone who I'd never seen do stand-up in my life. But
like
they
a
were like
Second City main stage.
exactly
Sure,
who had like an agent and they were like good for camera and like
Yeah.
so then I would also be like, all right, well then I'm forcing these 3 or 4 people on there and get like a few homies on that they like weren't going to see otherwise.
That's what it's about.
But yeah, yeah, man, I don't even know what we're
I'll
talking
say
about.
for us, it was the competition was like it was just like whoever made it to the second round of the competition, the JFL and Comedy Central people would see you. If you made the semifinals or the finals, which was either like the top 12 or like the top, I think semis was like maybe top 30 or so people, and that would be who they saw. And then they would just sort of pick out of that group, and you never knew if it was like gonna happen or not. And then like you just kind of hoped you got plucked. And if you didn't, then you'd be like, all right, I'll see him again next year.
Yeah.
Right.
But-
That's so cool. So it was possible to like, and there was winning the competition was one person or just the group?
Winning the competition would just be one person.
And could you win it and then JFL go, actually, we like the person from the semifinals that lost?
That happened all the time.
Yeah.
I was in my specific year, in my year that I got Comedy Central, it was 2017, and I was in the competition. I got the Comedy Central thing. This girl named Vanessa Gonzalez got JFL. Dismukes also got JFL, and no, Urbano was the year before that. But like we all got that stuff, and the guy who won the competition did not get
Anything?
That's
Oh,
crazy.
brutal.
That's nuts.
So yeah, it wasn't based on like who won it all. Sometimes it would like line up. There's this dude named Danny Palumbo who I think.
Oh yeah, I know Danny.
Yeah. Danny won it. I want to say 2015.
A while back. I remember like way back.
Yeah. He won like 2015, and I think got JFL that same year. And this,
Or I was thinking about JFL, not the local competition, but I remember Danny getting JFL like years
year.
before I did. Yeah, okay, gotcha.
he was popping.
I mean, Austin in my mind before the pandemic basically was like South by Southwest is like what I felt like. One of my first thoughts when I thought of Austin, which is not the first thought anymore, unfortunately.
I know.
I mean, it's also just like as a person who lived there, like South by was never really a thing that was like South by was for like outside comics to come in.
Yeah.
If you were like local, I talked to the guy who used to do the comedy programming. I don't know if he still does. This is named Charlie, and he specifically was like, he was like, I don't want to. Because, for South by, people are coming from all around the country and the world. He was like, I don't really want to see, they don't want to see local comics. They want to see like Eric Andre.
Right.
And so like that was like people, that'd be people from Chicago, people from LA, people from New York. If you're in Austin, like they were not putting us on South by shit at all.
Yeah.
We could do Moon Tower. That was like,
and that's a whole different festival now too.
Yeah, that got bought by the JFL people as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck's going on anymore.
Dude, wait, didn't it get bought by an agency? I thought like an agency owned one of the
JFL
festivals.
got bought, I think, by
CAA or
CAA.
something.
Okay.
Everything's it's a nice narrow.
There's gonna be like 11
funnel.
companies that do everything from soap to TV. Like
We're close.
Yeah, we kind of are.
Talent
Yeah.
management.
It's right around the corner.
We actually might be there now. What's Unilever? I think that's soap, but also maybe television. I have no idea.
It's going to be everything.
It's scary.
Everything. It's going to be the HBO, Clorox, Lockheed Martin, Pizza Hut Corporation, and all that. It's all going to happen there, and they're going to present all of our football games.
Pizza Hut Comedy Club.
Yeah, absolutely. It's coming. It's coming.
Execution brought to you by KFC.
Bro, everything brought to you by something. Half the stand-up videos I see now are brought to you by Dr. Squatch.
Oh, have you seen like the? Oh man, well,
I mean, I did some of them. They
Bro, I'm not even in no disrespect, bro. I don't, for the most part, I don't disrespect any comedian for however you need to get your money in what the fucking economy is for us right now.
Yeah.
I see it as a person who's like mid-level. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I see what it is. So it's like, do whatever you got to do. But this shit looks grim.
It was a don't tell that I did, and like I said yeah to it, and then like a month out, my manager hit me up. Was like, hey, so they just partnered with Dr. Squatch. Let me know if you still want to do it. Like, it's gonna be like an extra, X amount of money. And I was like, sure. Like,
I mean, I posted very recently a don't tell with me and Dr. Squatch collab.
Yep.
Brother. No shame in that game at all.
No,
it's
we're
like
Squatch boys.
You honestly don't have a choice. Don't tell is just like, hey, we're gonna do that. You can't be like, actually.
Yeah, totally.
They're like, okay, well then goodbye.
Yeah. Also, it kind of makes sense. Look at me.
You do look like
Squatch connection.
Yeah. They're like, we would like to collab with him, maybe. Look at him.
Do they make you do any sort of like, do you have to be like, because I remember hearing certain people being like, yeah, like they're going to pay me like X amount if I like go on, but I have to do something about like cleaning. Like I have to do something about
I've heard
like,
that before. Yeah, I did not do that.
Y'all
at all.
didn't have
they
to
were
do
like,
that,
there's zero content restrictions, nothing you have
Mine
to
was
do or
about
not
apples.
do.
Okay, so you're just able to do like your normal bits.
Yeah.
Got you.
And those are all my normal bits. I cover most of the fruits, and then I get out of there.
Berries, twigs, leaves, just foraging.
100%. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Actually, now that you're mentioning, I need more foraging stuff.
We have to. I mean, we got to get some foraging content once the weather gets nice.
Every time I see one of those cool, like curved knives where you like cut like a mushroom or like a.
Let's take a woodworking class.
I would love to do that.
Whoa.
Yeah. Would you ever do anything like that?
I would love to know how to do any real skill. I don't have any real abilities.
I bet you have more than you think.
I don't think I do.
Really?
I think I'm really blessed that I was able to like scratch out a living doing comedy because like I don't have any real like practical skills. I can't do much. Like the amount of times that like in relationships where somebody's been like, oh, something's going on with the sink, and I'll be like, well, shit.
Well, best of luck to the sink.
I guess that sink just kind of fucked up then. I guess maybe we could just wash our hands maybe in the bathroom, maybe over here on this other sink. We use
My
the
grandpa,
kitchen sink to wash
all my uncles and my grandpa were plumbers, so like I grew up just like learning how to my grandpa made me do stuff with him.
That's incredible.
Like, yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I know how to do like I grew up in Colorado, so I know how like outdoor stuff.
Yeah,
but like sink or like my girlfriend puts in our AC units.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah,
dude, she's in. I know she's.
I know how. You don't even help though. Like, what are you talking about?
The AC unit is just like you just have to lift it. And
I know how to do it, but like what I'm just saying is like the around the house stuff. Like she would just rather do it, and I'm also like I don't want to fuck shit up because I'm not entirely an expert.
Sure.
So take it away, lady.
Yeah,
like,
I get it. Does that feel bad? Does that hurt your masculinity at all?
Not at all. I think it's awesome.
I used to have a bit about this where it's like I actually don't really care about being the most masculine person in the that's not that important to me, but I will say I've seen a lot of like presumably liberal women's faces change when they see me try to build something.
Sure. Yeah. Yes.
Women who don't care about gender roles at all. You really see that switch flip where they're just like, oh, you're kind of a bitch, huh?
You can't even change the tire, huh?
You're sort of a bitch.
You don't even know how to start it going?
That's one thing I can do.
Yeah, there you go. See, I told you knew there was more than you thought.
I do know how to change a tire. That actually literally just came up. I was like me and my lady and another like couple, like we were driving our friend's Gary's car, and Gary like never drives his car. So like the tires were all really flat and we hit a pothole.
Yeah.
The whole shit burst.
Bam.
And it did feel really cool to be able to like, just be like, oh, actually I do. I haven't done it. I mean, I haven't had a car since I lived in Texas like damn near a decade ago now. But like, it was really cool to be like, man, nobody else knows what to do in this situation. I do.
Got it.
And I literally like got the shit, jacked it up. Unfortunately, Gary did not have the right tire iron for the type of bolts that he had. So we did have to call a guy, but that's just because we had the wrong tool.
Sure.
If we would have had the right tool,
that's crazy. That's nuts that he had a tire iron in the car, but it didn't fit the bolts.
Yeah,
I didn't.
How did Gary
usually
pull that
pretty
off?
universal bolts?
You would think.
Yeah,
you would think. I was pretty confused about that as well.
But looking at him like, where did you get that tire?
I am. I think.
It's just a crowbar.
I think he got the car used.
Oh sure.
I think he got. Well, not. I know he got the car used, and I think they had aftermarket tires.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? So they got some kind of new, like, fancier tire on there, and I think the iron was for. This isn't interesting. Anyway, I don't care. What am I talking about?
I was like, I want to get to the bottom of these.
Diving in the wood,
dude. Import lug nuts.
I said aftermarket tires on a podcast. Yeah. That's not what you want. But that's not clippable, Dan. That's not clippable. That's not quotable. That's not what nobody wants on the show. My bad.
Nothing like catching yourself in that moment and being like, I can't stop. I'm still talking about it. You're like looking at their faces. You're like, I know it's boring.
No, that sucks. I'm sorry for bringing tire conversation.
No, it's good.
I think it was good, dude. That's something you're good at now.
Yeah, that's true. That is one like real skill. If that was just like
apocalypse comes tomorrow, you can go, hey, I got
the tire guy.
I could put the donut on. Yeah. I could put the donut on.
I can get us another 30 miles to the actual tire guy.
Exactly. That'll get us to the next town.
Right.
For sure.
I mean, I always think about like if they started a draft and they're like, everyone really needs to go. I'm like, my use in the squad is like, I am just going to be like the funny guy who dies early.
Yeah, the funny guy always dies.
And then they all fight for me. You know what I mean? Like that's my purpose.
Sure.
Oh, in the movie?
If I was to go to war, I die early and then everyone's like, wow, that guy was great.
See, okay, I think you think
they fight for you like after the fact.
Yeah, they're like, Chris really made us laugh during boot camp. Took a bullet almost immediately.
I think you still come back at the end. And they're like, what the hell? And you're like, hey, sorry, guys. They're like, everyone else is dead.
Jake, just kidding. I wasn't dead. I was just bleeding quietly.
He got grazed and then hid the whole time.
Those bullets. No joke.
Every time I watch a war movie, I'm like, oh, if I was in that situation, I'd be like, no. As soon as the bullets started flying, I would shoot a couple times, hope I hit somebody. As soon as some of my boys went down, I'm going to the back of the line.
There's so many guys shooting at us.
I'm shooting that gun. The pitch of scream that I'm hitting is going to be so embarrassing. Like,
it would be one of those things where you'd be like, oh, I can't go back to my town because there's a bunch of other guys I went to high school with, and they all know I wasn't about shit in that war.
Yeah. If one of these guys makes it out, I'm fucked.
Over. I gotta abandon my family and start anew.
I heard one grenade pissed my pants and sat down for the whole thing.
Yeah,
and that was shit. That.
You guys go ahead. I'm gonna do a thing back here with all the shit in my pants.
Yeah, I'm gonna help. The nurses said that they need help bringing some water. So let me make sure everybody. I'm gonna fill these water bottles up, and then
before I bring them, are you guys good on water? You are. Tight. All right, I'll be back in a jiff.
Good luck, chaps.
You guys are doing great, by the way.
You
guys are so brave.
Yo, y'all strong.
You guys are so brave, dude. All right, I'm gonna do waters. Bye.
Yeah, that would absolutely in a heartbeat.
Oh man, yeah. If the apocalypse does come, just kill me quick.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I mean, part of me says it depends on what kind of apocalypse.
Sure.
Because I think between you and I, Chris, and Devon, if you're here, you're more than welcome. But I feel like we've got some good survival skills.
Oh, between y'all two?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
for sure. You said you were good at foraging.
I had no choice. My dad is like a
Colorado
outdoor guy, and he would we went multiple times.
He's like a mountain man.
We went backpacking, and I was like, Dad, where's the tent? And my dad was just like,
you idiot.
We don't have a
stars, fool.
Just sleeping bag in the dirt.
We built like lean-tos and like
I love building lean-tos.
Different types of like survival shelters.
Oh,
I've done it before out of boredom.
Yeah.
Interesting.
In the woods.
Oh, so y'all be fine. Yeah, you guys, y'all might be some of the last ones standing.
I'll be pretty okay, but I don't want to.
I don't want zombies to like just eat my whole dick and butt off, and then I have to like, you know what I mean? If I can get out of the city, I think we're gonna be good. If it's like a horde of something bad coming for us and I'm on my 3rd floor shitty apartment, like
that's what I was gonna ask. If it's like an I Am Legend situation and everything is dangerous outside.
I need to get to the woods.
Yeah, I need woods, and I'm in Chicago, and this is an endless city.
Yeah, the woods don't start.
We got to go to Michigan
for so long.
Yeah.
South or north.
And in order to get to the closest woods, you have to go through Gary, Indiana.
Sure.
Which is,
or we could take a boat straight across the lake. I feel like that's a move. Any survival movie, I feel like nothing's fucking with you on a boat.
You gotta get in the water.
Yeah.
You gotta, whatever the bad guy is, the bad guy can never, wait, I just went to go see a movie last night, truly just out of boredom, because it does like, I mean, it's also Monday night.
Sure.
Yeah. It was last night was Monday night, and it was truly like, I don't know, 10 p.m. And I was like, I don't got shit to do. I'm tired of being in this hotel room. I'm just
movies are fun. I forget about movies sometimes.
That's like the first thing my brain goes to if I'm really bored, is I'm like, oh, what's in the movies? And I'll go see anything. And it was between the Sydney Sweeney movie and then there's a movie out right now called Primate.
Okay.
Oh wait, is that where like a little chimp goes crazy?
That looks goes crazy, so fucking scary. Yeah,
and it's. I mean,
is it like a pet monkey
stuff?
I like have to watch scary movies standing up.
What kind of scary is this one?
It's so simple and straightforward. It literally is like a bunch of teenagers like a bunch of, I guess maybe they're in college, but they like go to Hawaii. The main girl's dad just has a chimp. And he just has a chimp that's like their family pet. But at the beginning, it's already acting fucked up. You see it fuck up a guy, but they don't realize it. Because sometimes he's acting normal.
Okay.
And then you just realize the chimp has rabies and is like rabid. And he just like goes rogue and starts like killing everybody.
Damn.
And the dad is like, I'm spoiling this whole movie. It doesn't matter. Right. You guys don't fucking.
Yes.
Also, nothing
if
happens.
If you see the trailer, you know everything you're saying right now.
Nothing happens in the movie that you couldn't predict happens.
Right.
But the dad, who's like the closest with the chimp, who can get it to chill out when it's freaking out, he is deaf. And so sometimes when the chimp is acting up, the dad doesn't know. And also the dad leaves to go on a business trip. And that's when the chimp really starts going on a rampage. And then the dad comes home and he doesn't even realize all this like carnage is happening. He thinks everybody's like asleep.
He's like whistling.
Actually though, like he gets a snack from the refrigerator.
He's like, weird. I must have not cleaned up all this blood before I left.
And then goes into one room and there's like a fucking 18-year-old who got his like face ripped off.
I was just gonna say, so do you remember that fucking thing sorry, just screaming at Mike.
No,
but it was like 10 years ago or something. That lady, it was like one of those pet monkey, monkey things or pet chimpanzee things.
Yeah, she got her face absolutely
like ate her whole face off or some shit.
It's not pretty.
And it's not like supposed to have that.
No, exactly.
Not at all.
I don't think anyone was surprised.
You're not supposed to. But that type of shit is freaky though, because those types of things will happen where it's like, oh, this lady had this little guy at the house for like 12 years,
and then he freaked out.
And then one day, like just something. But that's the thing. It's
like, that lady was giving her
like Xanax or something.
Exactly. Yeah. Xanax.
Oh, to chill it out.
And then
once it becomes an adult, then you really can't have those.
It wasn't even the only. It wasn't even the lady's own. It wasn't even the owner that I think she like the neighbor was babysitting it, so she gave it Xanax so it would be chill, and it fucking went ape shit. Literally ape shit. Whoa,
there it is.
Nice.
That was impressive.
That just scared myself.
That's the type of stuff you want on the pod. Not tired talk.
Now clip that right there.
You also want to handle them cooler than I did. I was instead of being like, I fucking did that on purpose. Like, did you guys see that? Whoa, ape shit.
Whoa. There it is.
Next time I'll be way more cool.
So all right, more of the, if you don't mind, the Devon Walker story a little bit. You moved to New York. Right, like 2018.
2018, I moved to New York. Yeah.
And then, did you hit the ground running in New York? Do you think, or was there like growing pains, or what was it like for you?
I think moving there was a bitch.
Yeah.
Like moving there was like, I remember I sold my car, and after I sold my car and like whatever little money I had from like, I worked at the state. I had like a state job. I was working like the social work office. It was really sad, but I was doing that, whatever money I could scrape together between that and my car, I came to the city with like $7,000, which like to that point is like the most money I'd ever like had in my bank account
ever
altogether.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I'll probably be good for like a year, maybe 2. Brother, the way that I ran through that shit in like 3 months.
Oh, wow.
That shit all went so fast. And I was moving apartment to apartment. I was signing 1 month leases because I was not even signing. I was just like finding like friend of a friend who like had an open room. But I was doing them 1 month at a time because I was scared that like if I never found a job, I moved there with no job at all. And I was scared that if I came out there and couldn't find a job, that I didn't want to like sign a lease and then just be like asked out. And so I was just like literally posting on Instagram, like, hey, I need a room next month. Like, who has stuff? Posted on Facebook, wherever. And for like 4 straight months, I just was moving apartment to apartment with like a suitcase and like a couple duffel bags. And that was everything that I like brought to the city.
Whoa.
And then I moved in August 2018. I got a job in November, but it was also one of those things where it was like, I got offered a job, but I got offered a job in maybe like September, but it didn't start for like 2 months.
Okay.
So, you know, and then once the job starts, then it's like another couple weeks before you get paid. So by like, I was, a little over 3 months in before I got any money, and I was all basically broke.
Right.
I basically run out of whatever money I had like come there with. And I was living nasty for a little bit. I lived in a basement. I lived in a basement with just one little window.
Was it mostly with other comedians, or was it like a kind of run the gamut of like?
I've almost never lived with a comedian, and that's by design.
That's good, and also, but when you're living with a bunch of people, especially in a new city, it's hard to avoid. So that's impressive.
Fair. It is just.
Good call.
I've seen. We've all seen it. I've seen too many situations go left. With comedians where it's like I actually really preferred to live with.
Not shitting where you eat, kind of thing.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I liked living with like. I was living with strangers, which like sometimes could get weird in a different way. But like, at least if you have some shit go left with a stranger, it's like, all right, I wash my hands of this person after this living situation's over. I will never see this weirdo ever again. Versus like,
and people with us when it's strangers, the dynamic is like people are usually strangely more respectful because like everyone just nobody fucking talk to anybody and just like don't leave shit don't leave a mess in the kitchen.
And none of the lines get blurred. You know what I'm saying? There's no element of like, we're coworkers and also we live together and also
and we can hang out sometimes.
It's like I don't know. I always preferred to live in like in that situation. And I lived with there were some strange birds. I wish I had a picture of this guy. I don't know where it is. But
I do too already.
I had a spooky roommate. There was 4 of us when I lived in the basement. There was 4 of us. I lived downstairs. There was one guy who was always with his girlfriend, one girl who was from New York, and her parents lived in like the Upper East Side. So she mainly stayed there during the week. And there was one guy who never left. And that guy,
I hate that guy.
I'm going to see if I can find a picture.
I hate that guy already.
While we're talking.
Even people you like, if they never leave the house, you're going as a guest or anything. You're like, dude, what are you doing? You've got
get out of here
to go somewhere.
You need something else going on.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a few guests where all right, don't get me wrong. I've also had a few guests where they stuck around the whole time, and I've been like, I'm so glad you stuck around.
Oh, interesting.
This was so much fun. We hung out the whole time you were here. You didn't like. Because there's some people that you stay with you and they're like, all right, man, I'm leaving. And you're like, oh, well, wait.
Yeah.
We're having a good time for you to be here. What are we doing? And then there's other people where you're like, you've been hogging my couch. I need my house back.
Well, people that get it versus not who don't get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When people are good. Oh, that's scary. I was expecting like a fun weirdo.
Oh, no.
That guy's done some murdering.
I like looked up his Facebook after living with him for a little bit. I was like, this guy's so fucking strange. This is his profile picture.
Yeah.
This is profile. Hey, it's me, this
like
guy.
Doing the dog eyes.
Wait, can you show it to camera?
Yeah.
Or we don't have to blur it for everybody. Well, we didn't say his name.
No. We didn't say his. I mean, who's going to know this man? This was just.
I don't know. His cellmate in jail right now.
He's doing one of these. He's like
Here
is picture for profile.
When you said I don't know why. Roommate, I was thinking like Eastern a zany, like fucking. But no, that guy just does.
No, it's like it's one of those pictures that pops up on the news, and you're like, before the trial starts, and you're like, oh yeah, guilty.
Yeah.
There's no way he didn't do it
for sure.
But
that was moly. That guy.
My first like long term.
Did you Google his name like in a bunch of different variations?
No.
Did you ever see a piece of his mail to know that what his name was actually what he was telling you?
Now you're bringing up
legal
questions
name?
that are making me even more afraid.
Yeah, dude, that guy. I think that guy did some shit for real.
Did he ever get mail to the house?
I mean, he must have. But I guess if I was seeing his mail, I was just like,
Here you go, scary
putting
guy.
it on the table.
You were just putting it in his garbage bag and zip tie drawer.
I mean, basically, he was always there.
In his like balaclava and gloves drawer.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? He's just drinking tea with it. Nothing.
Hey. I mean, I've had some pretty bad roommates. I actually got pretty. I mean, I was in a house that like I had like 25 comics probably pass through it.
Yeah.
In the 7 years that I lived
you were there for a while.
Yeah.
Which also for the listeners, every comedy scene, especially a scene that's like not New York or LA, every single comedy scene has a house
At least
like
one.
this.
Yeah.
Every
Kind of a comedian flop house.
flop house.
Yeah.
Did y'all ever go to the one in San Francisco?
No, but they made like a documentary about it.
Oh,
didn't they?
yeah.
I do think so, like a Viceland thing.
I think
Yes.
it's called Flophouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
Yes. Yeah.
And I stayed there exactly one time, and
How was it?
it was exactly what you think.
Right.
It was exactly what you think.
Grungy as heck.
It was grungy. But it was one of those places where it's like, oh, this could be nice.
Right.
Like it was a huge house. It had like 8 bedrooms or something like that. It was a big house. I slept in like a living room upstairs. And when I got there, I thought I was alone. And then I looked, and there was on another couch was a man underneath the blanket. And he woke up after about 15 minutes, and he goes, "What's up? I'm Dirty Mike."
Oh my God.
This is like a known. He's like a Bay Area comedian. Like guys know him.
Yeah.
He like does stand up.
What's up? Dirty Mike over here.
Literally.
He's like part of the couch.
Yeah, man.
That's one of the best things I've heard.
Ever? I was going to say in a long time.
I
Maybe
love
ever.
a good character. You know,
Oh my
like,
God.
like someone. who-
And they always live in whatever house that is.
Yeah.
Whatever house there is, and like whatever comedy community.
yeah.
You always got like one guy who's like,
I'm Dirty Mike.
yeah, I'm Dirty Mike. Shout out Dirty Mike.
What up, Dirty
Wherever
Mike?
you are.
How-
Yeah,
hope you're
stay
doing-
dirty, my dog.
Hope you're
sir.
doing great. If you ever need a couch to crash on in Chicago,
Not mine, but I know.
hit my
I know where
ex
it is.
roommates up.
Exactly.
Yeah. I got out of there. Now, do you live in like a decent place?
Yeah.
But
But
it's nice
like-
when you suddenly level up and you're like, oh my God, I didn't have to. Wow.
It took through my like. It wasn't until the end of my second season on SNL though.
Yeah.
Where I like got like an actual like decent apartment.
Right.
And that was truly because I was like, because your first season it's so like
You're just scared the whole
you know
time.
what I'm
You're like,
saying?
I'm about to lose this money.
Yeah, so it feels so like impermanent. And I also like, I never thought I ever would have got to be on that show. Like
Right.
that was never like a goal for me. Like that was like a complete surprise that came together. So like I was so like, oh shit, I'm doing this. And then a year goes by, and I had an apartment with like a decent rent. It wasn't like a shitty apartment, but it was like after the end of my second year, I was like, I gotta live better than this.
Were you
I was
near
stoked when you-
the?
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say when you got it, like sometimes when people get it, you don't know them at all, or they get it, and you're like, really? But like I remember when you got it, it was like one of those, like everyone was like, fuck yeah, dude, Devon got it.
I
Everyone was
appreciate
stoked.
it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, that must have been crazy.
Because I'd known you maybe like a year at that point.
Yeah,
or so,
I think we
in
met
New
at
York.
CYSK.
Yeah. I think so for sure. And you were
think-
friends with like Connor McNutt. and,
Yeah, I
like,
feel like I met you
Dad
through
Squad.
McNutt.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a great sentence.
Met you through McNutt.
Met you through McNutt.
Yeah, shout out Connor.
Starring
Great dude.
Devon
Hey, buddy.
Walker.
I missed you.
Honestly, Connor's like. Connor's much more. Connor knows every comedian.
Right.
Connor knows. He's always giving me shit for like not knowing who people are. But I feel like I like.
They moved to LA, right?
Yeah. He's like from LA, and so like
Right.
him and his wife like moved back out there. But he always gives me shit, and I'm always just like, look, I know enough comedians.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
how many more of these? I can't know. I don't need any more friends.
Right,
I
right.
I found my like comedy homies. Like I got it. But yeah, McNutt, I feel like I've met so many other people through him because he's like everywhere. He also worked at that moving company.
Exactly,
That
yeah.
all the
Every-
comedians
We're like
worked
half
at.
our friends
Yeah,
worked at,
especially
like,
the Chicago
some still do.
guys.
Yeah.
They all went out. Yeah.
A lot of the
Chicago boys were-
David Drake, I know, is one
he's
of
like
those.
one of my best friends.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave.
That's
Love
the
you, buddy.
guy.
Miss you.
Yeah, David's the man.
Yeah, I just talked to him the other day.
Well, that's great. So did you do stand up when you auditioned for SNL, or were you doing characters?
I was doing straight up stand up because I was like, I mean, they tell you can do anything. They tell,
Right.
at least for my year, they told us we could do anything. I know certain years they get like certain, they're like, oh, we're looking for somebody who can sing. So if you could do that, or you like, we need somebody who can do this type of character. So sometimes it's that. For me, they were really just like, whatever you want to do with this 5 minutes, do it. And I was like, well, I'm not going to try a new thing now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm not going to try. But I've heard of people getting the job that way who like mainly were stand-ups and were just like, all right, I came up with some characters last minute, but like that just wasn't me. So they have you do 2 auditions, and the first one was at the club that used to be UCB in Chelsea.
Right.
But then became, what was it called then? Asylum.
Oh, yeah.
But now that's not even there anymore either. It was a really good
Wait, when did Asylum leave?
I don't know, maybe like 2-3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I know it's not that anymore.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that was my first audition. And then that one went well enough that I was like, oh, I think I'm going to get to do another one. And then they for me, it was like a day or two later, they were like, oh, we're going to bring you into the screen test. I came in, did the screen test, and honestly, it's just something about it. I was just like, oh, I'm gonna get a job here. Like something about
it just felt good.
They always tell you nobody's gonna laugh, and I got enough. I got a laugh in like the first turn of my first joke.
Huge.
Which is nice bit about how.
Could you see Lorne?
Yeah. I mean, you can see. I couldn't look at him.
Sure.
But it's like when I did my first audition at Asylum, I walked out. I remember I was second in my lineup. The first person was this girl who's still a writer there, Kira O'Sullivan. And she went first, and I'd never heard of her. I realize now that she came down from Boston because she knew, I think they have an asylum in Boston. And so like you were saying,
sure.
that's how
those connect.
That's how these lineups work sometimes. So she had come down from Boston, and I remember she did characters, and they were so good, and she really killed. And I remember being like, fuck, this is a girl I've never seen or heard of. If she's popping off like this, it's about to be tough.
Isn't it crazy when that happens and you're like, and I don't know how to say this without sounding disrespectful, but you've never heard or seen this person.
Yeah.
So in your head, it's not meant to be mean at all, but you're like, what's this going to be? And then it blows you completely away. You're like, holy shit. Yeah.
And so, yes, it was very that. Because you, on a certain level, I mean, and now with the internet, with the TikTok and Instagram of it all, it's different. But I don't know, when I was starting, I'm 10 years in now. And so when I was starting, it just kind of generally felt like you knew who was coming up. You know what I'm saying? You knew who was because I feel like Comedy Central was a good place where when people were up and coming, they would get one of those little Comedy Central digital sets, and they get a half hour. So you kind of could map it out. And so I was kind of like, all right, I know most of the people on this audition. If I haven't heard of you probably not good.
If you were one of the 1 to 2 people from Austin that got it, and I was one of the 1 to 2 people from Chicago that got back, you know what I mean? Then you start to see some of the local scene people before they get to New York or LA. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But anyway, all this to say, I remember she went up, she did really well, and then it was just me. There was no God mic. Nobody was introducing us. So you had to introduce yourself.
Just shotgun style.
When you came out.
Oh, no. So no one was and you didn't bring up the next person after you?
No,
thank you.
You just walked away.
Just say thank you, and then you walk off, and you have to say,
wow.
Maybe there was a God mic, but I know there was no host.
Sure.
So it's she came off, and then I just came straight on. And I remember as soon as I as I was walking to go get the mic, I remember seeing it was Lorne, and it was Steve Higgins, and it was Colin Jost, all sitting right next to each other. I was like, oh, they're here, because they don't always come to that one.
Okay.
Those the big dogs don't always come to the kind of preliminary club set or whatever.
Right.
But that one was a heater. That one felt really, really good. And then, I'm sure a bunch of people have told the story, but when you screen test, they will have, it was maybe 15 of us that they brought in, and I got there at probably 3 p.m. and I didn't end up going up until probably around 9. So you're just in there.
Damn.
Whoa. You're just in there. And I was pretty much as soon as I got in there, I was I need to go to somebody else's room, because I can't just sit alone with my thoughts.
Yeah.
And so I went over to this other dressing room, which actually at the time was Che's dressing room, which would become mine. And Chloe Trost was in there, who got the show the next season after that. And we just kind of vibed. We vibed. I brought a little tequila, because I was I know I'm going to be in here for a little bit. So I was sipping on tequila. I brought a little speaker. We were listening to music.
Right.
And then, but they come around and they tell you, they're yo, just so you know, nobody's going to laugh, or just be prepared if people don't laugh. It happens all the time. Because in the first audition, it's 100+ people. You know what I'm saying? It was it's a sold, these showcases are always sold out. People are industry people and fans alike. People want to be around for this. And so that was a completely sold out room, which feels easy. You know what I'm saying?
And they're excited. There's a buzz.
Exactly.
It's an SNL audition. Yeah, exactly.
For the most part, if you're a decent comic, if you're in a sold out room, that's
hot.
Yeah, it's
electric.
easy.
Yeah, to do the thing.
9 times out of 10. There are
exceptions.
We certainly have
I've been there.
exception times where the room is packed, and you're damn, I didn't get him.
Yeah.
But so that one, well, I was like, yeah, all right. I'm not surprised the first one went well. But then the second one, yeah, you're just in the studio and you're like on home base where they do the monologue. And it's just like, it was maybe like 5 people. It was maybe, but like it was, and they're just like kind of dimly lit over off to the left. And I like noticed them, but I like could not look at them at all. Cause I was like, hopefully they laugh, but I was like, I'm going to look straight. Like I looked up into the bleachers as if, cause there's a camera on you. So you come out, you say your name. And then after I did that into the camera, I just looked out into the bleachers as if there was like a full crowd there, even though it was completely empty.
Nice.
And I remember I did this. My first bit that I did was this bit that I've done for years, an old bit from Austin about how right when I learned how to read, they had this sign in my neighborhood that said "Caution, deaf child at play," and I took it as like a warning. Like I took it like that sign made me scared of the deaf kids.
That thing's gonna bite me, dude.
I thought they were saying that like this nigga's on the loose and he'll get you. Just know like that's how I
very dangerous deaf people around here.
And that's like the first turn is me being like, that made me scared of deaf kids.
I'm gonna get bit.
And on that turn, like I got a laugh. I got like a good laugh, and I was like, all right, cool. And that like really loosened me up. And yeah, I like did my time. And I was like, after I did that, I was like, man, I bet you I got to get hired to do something. Maybe I'll get hired to be a writer because I've never done sketch comedy before. Maybe I'll get hired for the cast, but I was like, I'm going to get hired to do something.
For sure.
And then
you're like, I'm leaving with a job.
Yeah. I was like, I felt really confident that I was coming off with something, but then you know, everybody doesn't do this, but like you do a meeting with Lorne, and when you're going to get hired, they had us like go around. They had us meet with like a lot of the head writers. So I met with like Streeter and like Kent and Allison. And at that point, I knew it. And they also had us do like cocktails with the producers. Okay. You know, and at that point, I was like, oh, this is just a vibe check. This is just like they're just making sure you're not a fucking weirdo.
Totally.
And I was like, to me, that's the easiest part. But everybody, you know, we've known many comedians that probably would have gotten tripped up at that exact stage.
I am like a pretty cool guy, easy to hang out with. There are moments where I'm like, okay, here's the time where I'm supposed to be networking and being chill, and then I'll like come up to people and be like, "Good eye, mate," and then they'll be like, "He's not Australian. Why did he do that?" Like, I just like am like a freaking idiot. Like, I just become a different like I fumble over my words.
Well, it depends on the event too, because sometimes those like industries can be so. Especially when even going in, the expectation is that you like are like hobnobbing and networking, and then it feels so forced, and then like, especially like a JFL thing, and then everyone like the industry already has their darlings, and people are flocking to like the same 3 people, and then you just kind of feel like the wallflower at the the dance that no one, you know what I mean? Yeah. At least I don't know. We all have different experiences.
Well, it's also like that's the JFL of it all, because I remember that specifically. I remember JFL. I remember the guy would come, and then the club would tell kind of like their favorites. The club would tell like the people that they liked, like, hey, like he's gonna go over to this bar later. Like you should go over there and like be there.
I would do that like crazy. I was like a big
totally. And it's like, especially like if you're in a scene where there's like not a ton of opportunities, you're like, I gotta make something shake. So like he's going to that bar, like I'm going to that bar.
Right.
And I remember I would do it. The club fucked with me. I would go over there. I'd be at the bar, and it's the industry's so silly though, because it will have like all these like amazing artists and like talented people really suckling at the teat of like a fucking dork.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's
I know exactly what you're saying.
We're all fucking like, I'm like trying to get up to this man with the guy with the hat. I forget what his name. We all know.
Jeff Singer.
Jeff Singer. Yes, him and his fucking hat. Who now? I don't even. Who knows? Who knows where that man is?
It's gone.
It's good. It's good to be able to publicly.
But he wielded that power of new faces so hard for a long time.
He knew it, and it's like, that's like that makes people like that feel special, and it makes people like us forget that we're the special ones.
Right.
That's a great point, but you're absolutely right.
So much of what this game ends up being is like special people trying to impress people who could never do what what the talented creative.
It was we had to go meet him at the bar to make that guy feel cool.
Exactly.
Because he was super not cool. And you ever hang out with that guy? It was very uncool.
He was not cool.
And then he got like canceled, I think.
Yes.
Like a couple years ago.
The N-word.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I thought it was stuff with like I thought he was inappropriate with women.
No,
No, I mean I wouldn't be surprised if that
was like reciting someone's
Jesus
bit to
Christ.
somebody,
Yes.
and said the N-word to the comedian.
I think it was like Dulce. I think it might have been Dulce Sloan or something like that. And
bad idea, man.
He was
like,
saying
yeah.
that too, Dulce?
He was yes, or I just know he was repeating a comic who said nigga to another comic who was black and was like, yeah, like you know the bit where they say like da da da.
Oh my God.
Everybody was like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But also it's so interesting now, like
How tone deaf.
to see the way that like time shifts, because it feels like now that would not get somebody fired from their job. You know what I'm saying? That feels like a thing that like now maybe would be like a headline for like a second, and then it would get like washed away in the
There's
news
so
cycle.
much constant bad news.
Exactly.
Here's the thing though, if that guy, if there wasn't probably a laundry list of stuff that like everyone was just waiting for something,
right.
you know what I mean?
That
Where it was
wasn't
just
the
like,
first strike.
No,
for
I don't
him.
think anyone was like, yeah, this guy, he's cool, and we
Yes.
like when he's here.
Fair.
You know, I think like
People were like, he's got a dumb hat, and now he's gone.
Yeah, and nobody was sad.
No.
Nobody was sad when he was gone.
No.
I've never seen or heard from him again, but all that to say, yes, I know exactly what y'all are talking about. That moment where you're like, okay, I gotta go over here and like be like,
Yeah.
and I gotta try. I hope he thinks I'm funny. And also, I never got JFL.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all ever did.
I got it in 2019.
Okay.
My 8th year auditioning.
Yeah.
And one of the years that was in LA, and then I got a call back, so I had to go back to LA for it. It was when I was in Chicago. It was way before New York.
Oh, so you had to fly to LA.
Yeah, and I was like, I think I got it.
Yeah.
And then I didn't, and I was like so mad. And then I auditioned 2 more years in Chicago and got it on the last, the 8th year. Which at that point I was like, every other year I would like freak out for a month and run around and tighten my set. And that year I was like, I don't care. What do you want? What do you guys want? I was like, stop asking me to do this.
It
like,
does
do you
feel
not
like,
want like?
it does feel like that at a certain point.
And so I remember I did a bit that like I wrote like 3 days prior, like as one of the bits of my set. Like a couple of them were like, you know, the hits that I had at the time. And then one was a joke that I had for like not even a week, and it wasn't even finished. And I was like, I'm just going to do this because I like it and I think it's funny.
Sure.
And then I got it that year, and I was like, it was like, it almost took the joy out of getting it because it took so long and I was mad. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure,
yeah, but you know, still grateful for it. And it did absolutely zero for me. I will say that.
That thing
well, the
feels-
pandemic happened.
That,
like,
well, yeah, that's true. But it like that in particular always felt interesting to me because it felt like JFL felt like such a boomer bust kind of like endeavor where it felt like, oh, some people are coming out of this with like real shit going on.
Everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some people, which I guess like by 2019, I guess that had like petered out somewhat, but
kind of. But like way back in the day, people were leaving with like signing deals.
TV deals.
Yeah, they were
Yes.
like network exclude. Like they were leaving with like 50K, just like sign on bonuses.
like
for something.
life-changing amounts of like
Money.
and
Right.
like access. And like even by 2019, it was like I feel like some people would come away and be like, oh, like they did JFL, and then like some casting people saw them, and like now they're on Insecure or like
My year was Hannah Einbinder and Shane Gillis. Yeah.
well, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and me. Hey,
Yeah.
doing okay.
I have never gotten it, and it might be because of
I
that
think you don't-
networking. I don't know. I did this
I don't
last
know
year.
what it even could do for
Yeah.
you.
I
mean,
think
who
you already
cares?
outgrew
I
it.
don't really care. Like I'd like it, but it's also like all right. So I did meet the guy this year at Big Diamond Comedy Festival. One of the guys.
Where's that?
Down in Bentonville, Arkansas.
Oh, or the Walmart town.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And, it's like Sam Talent, Rob Suresh, and Kaz
He told me about
Sparkman.
that. I didn't know it was the Walmart thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I randomly was eating pizza next to a guy who lives there.
Yeah.
like
Okay.
2 days ago.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's
Chris explained it all to me. I had no idea.
And this guy I talked to works for Walmart. So
Wow.
festival was great. I was just like on a ton of mushrooms and just thought the guy was like someone from Bentonville.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, man, shit's been fun. And then he was like, yeah, I'm Chris. I'm with JFL. And I was just like, oh, fuck. Now I'm immediately going to get weird. Like, damn it. This sucks, dude. Like,
You're like, and good day.
yeah.
I remember like who told me this, or like maybe they didn't even tell me this, but I heard this about like I heard this Sam J with like industry people used to be like kind of just mean to him.
She is. And also, I mean, I love Sam, but I'm also scared of her.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
you
like-
shouldn't be. She wants that.
Yeah,
she
I
wants
know, I
that.
know, I know,
You don't
I know.
need to be. You don't. She's not going.
No, she's the best.
But Yeah, I heard she used to just kind of like shit on them and kind of like, if anything, act like she was too good for them. And then in
I've
turn,
had this theory
it feels like it really worked out
a
for
couple
her.
years. 'Cause I also know a couple of the comedians. I don't think anybody I know has ever done it to the extent that Sam has, but a few comedians I know that like kind of do that, where they like don't bully them, but don't like they don't do what I inadvertently do on accident. I'm like, and thank you, and like and I think they like it's almost like the
hot girl thing.
It's like it's like a high school thing where like they want the cool kid to like him because like you know.
I'm gonna remember what you said forever just now, Devon, where you're like, we're the special people in a way. It's like no offense to any of the here I immediately start like being like backpedaling. No offense to any of the tastemakers listening to the podcast.
Need it. Yeah, thank you.
No, but you know what I mean? Like the tastemakers, their only talent is that they can recognize talent, and the other people are like, the three of us can actually do shit on stage that brings people together and like
I think
can create characters and scenes and bullshit.
Like one of the things that I like try to hold with me the most is like really remembering like just when anybody's like not fucking with me, when anybody like doesn't is not picking up what I'm putting down, 9 times out of 10 I'm like, oh, almost, maybe even 10 times out of 10, like the vast majority of the time I'm like, I could do what they do.
Right.
I could do what you do. You could never do what I do.
This is
so it's like you don't get to tell me that I'm like
that's awesome.
You don't get to tell me I'm not good enough because like I've already accomplished some shit that like you couldn't do in your wildest dreams.
Right.
And so like I want more of us to hold that within ourselves.
Yeah.
For real.
Thank you, man. Hockey, it's just self-assured. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it's like I've done it's like especially it's like we've worked at our crafts for like a really long time to a point where it's like I don't know, it's not bad to be like, oh, I believe in my ability. You know, it's not bad to be like, oh yeah, I worked hard at this thing and I like got good at it.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't know. It's just there's just certain like people and institutions that I used to really like let it get me down. Or I'd be like, oh, such and such doesn't like me and such. I'm just like, oh, then like then I'm just not supposed to be over there.
Right.
I'm not supposed to be over there. Like that's not for me. I'm not for them. But like I've done enough of this shit that like I know what I'm capable of. So like I'm not gonna let nobody ever make me feel like I'm not it.
Right. Yeah, I love it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude,
nice. Yeah.
Dude, you're gonna have a strong career as like a coach one day. Once you're done with this,
we'll see. Yeah. I'd love to coach a little pee-wee team.
Did you ever play sports growing up?
Yeah, I was a football kid.
Yeah.
Texas boy.
Oh, right. You like kind of.
Oh shit, that's a different kind of. I mean, I played growing up on the south side of Chicago, but Texas is in its own league of youth football.
Well, there's not a lot of like white boy representation on the South Side. You got to be on the forefront of this.
I mean,
nobody's doing this.
It depends on where you're at on the South Side. So I grew up in like the neighborhood I grew up in was like had a strong Irish population.
Got you.
Because the South Side is a lot bigger than what the media would have you believe about when people just say South Side. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. The South Side contains multitudes.
Say that.
And
speak on it.
Isn't it bigger? It's bigger than the North Side by a good amount.
I mean, it depends on what, like if you consider Madison the delineation, which like that's state in Madison is 0-0.
Yeah.
So I mean, but like I guess South Side, like there's South Loop, and then there's like Chinatown is like 20, Fifth Street.
Still definitely South Side.
But then the South Side also goes so much farther west, and then it kind of goes. Then there's like Southeast Side, kind of by like. Before Gary.
Oh, right. It starts bending this way.
People used to say there's no east side of Chicago because that's where the lake is, but there is. Because like when you get south enough, you can get pretty far east. Right. Like Rob works. Yeah, he's down and doing a bunch of stuff on the east side like all the time in the avenues.
Yeah, South Side is massive.
Hell yeah. Just on a general like Chicago tip that I've like... This is a story I've told to a lot of my Chicago homies that always trips me out. Is like this city is like truly the most segregated city I've ever.
No doubt about it.
It's not even close.
It can be crazy
to the point where like one of my best friends is from Humboldt Park, and he is.
Did he grow up there? Puerto Rican, probably. Yeah.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Chicago. Yeah, but yeah, he grew up over there, and I introduced him to my homie's wife. And my homie's wife's also from Chicago. And they were like talking for a second. And she goes, oh, are you Puerto Rican? And he goes, yeah. She goes, oh, so you're from Humboldt Park? And he goes, yeah. What are you? He goes, are you Mexican? And she goes, yeah. He goes, oh, so you're from Pilsen? She goes, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like Beverly is an Irish neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like it is like they have their own St. Patrick's Day down there.
Well, it's not. We just have our own celebration. It's the same one.
Same St. Patrick's Day. No, but like, you know, like there's like the big city main one, and then Beverly's like,
the Southside Irish Parade.
They don't play enough fucking Dropkick Murphys at that.
We're doing this one.
We're doing it down here the right way.
Not enough fist fighting your cousins and uncles at this one.
Respect.
Yeah, you got to tackle someone through a chain link fence.
Dude, well, I didn't see this, but I wish I did. This happened like I think I was in college. One of my buddies was walking. So also like in the neighborhood on the parade day, everyone has parties, and everyone's been drinking since probably 7 a.m. till they fall down. And my buddy was walking to one of our other friends' house down this block, and this side gate, like between like two apartment buildings, like flings open, and this like 16-year-old kid is carrying a corned beef like a football and just running. And like he said, like 5 seconds later, like 5 guys are like, grab that kid. I was like, you made this up. He's like, I swear to God. He's like, how could I invent that?
Incredible.
Grab that beef, got my beef.
Corned beef is such a funny.
Yeah.
They had to cancel it because it got too big. There was like 1 million people. Like bars were sending buses. My buddy's parents live like a block off the parade route.
Yeah.
And the year before they canceled it, twice in one day during the parade day, they had to kick out people in their backyard for fucking in their backyard. And they're like a couple blocks into the neighborhood.
Whoa.
Yeah, so people were getting loose.
Oh, that Patty's Day was getting down like that.
That's a good backyard for fucking. Come on, Claire. Let's go in there.
In the backyard. Yo, respect.
In the day.
So how does Chicago rank in your cities? Not to put you on the spot. But how do you like it? You don't have to you'll say
you
like
you got here what, last week?
Yeah, so I've been here like just a little under a week, and I'm out here for like 10 days total.
Yeah.
I've always really liked Chicago. This is my first time coming in the wintertime though.
Yeah.
And I was scared to come in the wintertime because every person from here has been like, nah,
That's
you
brutal.
don't want to be there.
It's usually not 50 degrees in January.
And then,
this is crazy.
somehow I end up here on the lightest winter of all time in Chicago, which is it's probably a bad sign. That's probably
It's not, yeah.
It's probably not a good sign.
December was pretty like I was like, oh, we are so back. It was dumping. Like there was so much snow.
Yeah.
And then it's been like as soon as 2026 hit, it was like, fuck, dude. Like
It's like warmer here than it was in New York when I was there.
It's crazy.
I feel like never happened.
I went home to Colorado, where I'm from for Christmas, and it was 60 degrees every day I was there.
Yikes.
Which was I was playing like bocce ball in shorts. Like it was a fucking felt like summer.
We're in trouble.
Yeah. It's hard to enjoy sometimes because you're like, hey, shorts. But you're like, oh, what the planet's burning.
Yeah.
We're going to have a forest fire in January.
Yeah.
This isn't right.
This can't be good. But no, city rankings wise, I would say Chicago's, right up there with, I love Chicago.
Yeah.
Every other time I've ever been here, it's been the summer. But like even coming in the winter, it's like I think it has some of the core things that I like in a city. I came from Austin, right, which is a drinking city.
Yep,
cares a lot about sports.
Yep.
That has a good like comedy and art scene.
Yeah,
and
it's
food.
Like, and great food
for sure.
Like those are the things that I like, and it has like its own like identity.
Right.
I feel like going or like touring around, you realize like how many cities in America are like the exact same place.
Big time.
Yeah.
And it's most of them. Like most, even like known like big cities, like don't really have a lot of like distinguishing features, and so it's like, I feel like Chicago has all that shit, right? Like
once you start getting west of the plains, it's like I feel like they weren't even built like. Like Chicago was like an industrial city, like Cincinnati, Milwaukee, and then I don't know. I feel like once like some of the western, like Phoenix is what 50 years old,
and it feels like that.
Like
and it feels like that.
There's not like an old architecture, not like a specific style.
Yes,
and there is both of those things. I'm sure it's desert, Pueblo, Mesa. I don't know, but like it doesn't feel like there's a rich history there, and what is historical there feels like stolen land stuff.
Yeah, well, or just like shouldn't exist, and
we're not supposed to be out there.
The Colorado River doesn't reach the ocean anymore.
Yeah,
because of Phoenix and Las Vegas for the most part. Like it doesn't even hit the fucking ocean because it's just getting diverted to these two cities in the middle of the desert that just shouldn't really.
Vegas is really. we want to talk about city rankings. I would say Vegas might be at the dead bottom for me.
100%.
That's really not
Agreed.
my type of place.
It's like Disneyland for idiots.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
It's
Like,
really no disrespect if you like Vegas, but also we probably won't be friends.
Yeah.
If that's the city, if that's your place, we probably not. Except unless you're like really like, I got homies who like gamble professionally, who like are like
that's different.
poker players for a living, and I'm
they're
like,
going there for work.
Yeah, you got to be in Vegas like for sure, but like it's really. I went to the Sphere, which is like it is cool. Like just on like some.
I haven't gone yet. I really want to go.
The screen is awesome. I really do want to go see a concert there, but like no artists that I want to watch are playing.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? It's always like.
Well, who'd you see?
Well, we went to go see a movie.
Okay.
There was like a Darren Aronofsky joint, which funny enough, the irony in this Darren Aronofsky joint was that it is about environmentalism. It's about environmentalism, and it's about how we're not treating the planet the way that we're supposed to. And I was like, LOL, I'm watching this on a football field size screen in the middle of the desert, and it's chilly in here.
Planet-sized spaceship screen.
The emissions are probably off the charts in this little fucking Death Star.
I was like, it's fucking 115 outside, and it's 60 in here. Yeah. And the screen it's the biggest screen you've ever seen in your life. Yeah. So I was like, that was very silly, but it is sick.
Yeah.
Like it is cool, but I am like, we don't need this.
So what are your top cities if I had to put you on the spot?
I mean, I'm partial to I fuck with Chicago. I really fuck with New York, despite the fact that it makes literally everything harder than it needs to be.
Right. Same. I loved it, but it's like it's an intense.
I love New York.
I love it, but like
I definitely feel a breath of fresh air when I come back here a little bit.
Living in New York, and I'm living in like I'm living like an upper tier way to live in New York City, and I still am like it's. I was talking to James Austin Johnson about this. I call him Jadge, but I was talking to Jadge about this, and he was like, he was basically like, he told me, he was like, I made blank amount of money, and he was like, I would have thought like 10 years ago that amount of money would like save my life for like years on end. And he was like, and you live in New York, and you're like, all right, well, I got to get right back to work. Like it really doesn't allow you to like chill or rest unless you are like a multi-millionaire. You have to make so much.
It's nuts. It's like, even like to be comfortable.
Yes.
You have to be multimillionaire, I think.
Yeah, to like really chill.
Yeah.
It's almost no one. And so I do think I talk to my lady about this all the time, where I'm just like, man, so much of the stuff that I'm stressed about could just be solved by me living somewhere else.
That was my next question. Do you want to live in New York forever?
I probably will end up living in New York forever, despite the fact that it feels like it hates me and it wants me to die.
That's the best part about New York, though.
Yeah, that
feels that way about everybody.
We're all in
we
this.
just stay as a
part of it feels like it's actively trying to kill you.
Right.
But I mean, I would love to go back to. I would love to have split time between New York and Texas. I never want to live in LA. Like I like visiting LA, but I really don't. Nobody's an alcoholic there. I don't feel comfortable. Like,
it's everyone's too healthy and everyone drives too much.
Chicago, we'd welcome you here.
Yeah,
when I was there, I wanted to split time between there and like that was my long term goal. Was like I always want to have a place in like it was to like have an apartment in New York that I like keep and maybe do half the year there and then half in Chicago and then or that's somewhere warm maybe.
It'd be nice to split time somewhere, but. I don't know. There's just everything that I like want to do is in New York.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It has everything there, and that is the thing that makes it like hardest to leave.
Totally.
And now that's where I've like built up so much of my like friends and my community. But I would say, New York is pretty high on the list, despite how mean it's being to everybody in it all the time. Chicago's in there. I'll fuck with Portland heavy.
Portland, Oregon. Seattle. I love both.
Yeah, I love Portland, Oregon.
I never have been able to catch a vibe in Seattle. I don't know what it is, but I can't. Maybe I just need to go with somebody who's from there. I haven't been able to find like a really fun time in Seattle.
I've been there a few times without doing any comedy, and I think that's maybe why I like it more. Like the whole time I was there, I did zero comedy. Yeah, and I was like,
it feels nice to do that.
It does. It really does.
I feel like I want more comedians to know. I remember. In 2019, I had some homies who like had a place out in Hawaii, and I was so broke that like I had a homie who like just like has a bunch of money, and I was like, I'm too broke to come. He was like, bro, I'll pay for your ticket. Just come.
Huge.
And so he like got me out there. I was out there for probably like 5 days, and I remember finding a way to like I booked stand-up shows in Hawaii. every single night. I'm in fucking paradise, and every single night I'm like doing bar shows so I can make like, and I'm like in the moment I was like, well, I gotta make some money, and like I gotta get up, like I can't like not be. In hindsight, I'm like, well, that's a sickness.
It took me years to figure out not to do that because I did that so many times.
Yeah.
Even like a family vacation, like when I was in my like mid 20s, and it'd be like, oh, we're gonna go to this place. I'd be like, I'm gonna try to get a set in, and then sometimes I would do it, and it would ruin my whole day and night because
your whole day is based around like, oh, well, I can't be too far on this side of the city because I got to get all the way back over here so I can do the fucking.
I've got to get to the bloated goat or whatever the fuck this place
bro,
is.
I got
6 people.
Go to this place where I'm getting paid in fucking cheese curds.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm missing out on time with my loved ones.
I could be watching the sunset on the beach, but I'm here in this windowless shack.
Bro, literally, I was leaving sunsets on the beach in Hawaii to be like, well, I got to go take a shower so I can get to the fucking.
I'm doing 5 tonight.
Yeah, the bloated or like whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like if I could tell young comedians anything, it's just like the stand up will be there. The comedy is always there. Like, take a breather. Go touch grass.
You're not saying don't hustle and don't grind, but do it wisely and don't skip out on like those kind of opportunities.
Nice life experiences.
Right.
Do you know Jeffrey Asmus?
Yeah.
He's been doing it right. I feel like he's very deliberate about going, and if he books himself in like a place where it's like beautiful for perchance, he's just like, I'm gonna just stay here for an extra 3 days. I'll get like a cabin nearby, the feature, and I can like we can hang out. We'll go on hikes. Like we'll just like enjoy, like tack on a little mini vacation.
Yes.
So like you do the work, you work hard, and then you're like, all right, recover here in this like
that's awesome.
Like he's gonna go do Portland, Maine, and go hike up in the Cascadia National Forest, I think is what it is, or it's Arcadia, and he's like gonna get a cabin. He's like, all are welcome. I'm like, that sounds good.
Yeah,
come do the shows in Portland, and then
that's smart.
Boop on up there. Like, why? Heck not?
If you can't afford to do that kind of stuff, I would absolutely say do it.
Right.
Because it's like, I know everybody can't book 3 extra days. Some people are like, well, I can stay as long as the club is getting my hotel. Then I gotta
head on home.
Go home. But like
selling well, like Jeffrey's.
Yeah,
I will say
he's cooking right now.
He is cooking. He works so hard. Like I remember, I was like, Jeff, what are you doing? How are you doing it? Like I want to know. He's like, I work fucking 40 to 60 hours a week. Like he's
doing it all by himself.
No, he's got an agent and stuff like that, but he's doing most of the social media.
He's doing his own clips, I think.
He does. Yeah. He's
respect.
Like, but I
respect anybody who's on that grind. That's not my mission.
No.
That's not my mission. I did not get into this to be a fucking video editor and like a social media lead. Like
I did it for too long and I can't do it anymore. I'm like trying to find someone to do it.
It's not bad to have someone do it.
And now like I feel like you can find some like kid who will do it for reason, who can do that shit really, really quick.
I've had some meetings with these companies and it is crazy how much they're charging.
Through like a company, that shit is nuts.
It's like the lowest tier was like $2,000 a month.
Yes. My manager set me up with somebody who was like,
that was the lowest tier.
Yeah. Theirs was like $3,400.
That was the mid tier.
Services or something like that. And I that? Who can't afford that?
Yeah.
Like I mean, again,
so
you have to be like rich to get to that stage. And that's when I was on SNL, which that's its own other thing. I mean, the show also pays much less than people think.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but I do feel like it's a thing where it's like you can there's an in-between between like doing it yourself and like paying one of these big companies. I feel like you can find like a 19-year-old who can pop those things out for you.
Someone with good comedic timing that wants to freaking like learn some stuff. And like there are people who are like, oh, like Devon Walker wants me to do his clips. Like I'd love to help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and
that is,
you don't want to lean on that too much, but like not a bad, like if you were in their position and someone who was like an SNL alum came to you and you were 2 years in and they're like, hey man, I think you're funny. Would you like to edit my clips for a little extra dough?
Yeah.
I would have been like, of course, I'll learn how to do that for you. You know what I mean?
Working on the show used to get you, used to make you a movie star.
Yeah.
Now you could get clips at a discounted rate.
Yeah, from fans.
Times are good.
You used to get to start a franchise.
Yeah, dude. Have you experienced any like the SNL like super duper fans who are like that are like they collect?
Those are the first people you come across,
dude. So I've met them a couple. There's through like from going to the show and like having friends on the like going to the show with friends that are on the show over the years and like and then going on the road with former cast members. Like I was Chris Red used to take me on the road to open for him for like 2 years. And like sometimes there'd be people like at the venue 2 hours early with like 5 headshots of Chris printed out like on like nice photography paper. And we're like there with a marker. Not a single, like some of the servers aren't even at the club yet. And they're just there. And they're like, can you sign these please? And do you mind if we take a picture? And they're like, I actually got a picture with you out in front of the show like 2 years ago or something. Like it's almost like a obsession kind of thing.
I mean, it's like an easy way to follow comedy in a way.
Yes.
It's some people's only understanding of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is also very true.
Yeah.
Yes. I've come across some real freaks and weirdos. Most of the time they're normal. Not normal, but most of the time they're harmless, I guess I should say.
Yeah. They're like, can I just have your socks? You're like, what?
Yeah.
not before the show.
you.
After you perform, I'll take your socks.
No, I want them when they smell bad.
Some people buy tickets specifically because they want to get a thing signed. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like
Yeah, okay.
some people, it's like, oh, you're just like an autograph guy and you're going to go sell my autograph somewhere. But like that's the thing that used to really bum me out is the picture of me that people would bring was from my first appearance on the show. And my very first appearance on the show, I was playing, do you remember the little kid who was talking about how he likes corn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played the corn kid.
So you have your face painted?
It's literally it's just me. It's just my face, but they have like a couple of my teeth painted because the little kid like was missing a couple of teeth.
Right.
Yeah.
And
corn.
And I have a corn on the cob. And my first words that I ever said on SNL were, "It's cone. It's got the juice." First words I ever
and
said.
Like,
on the show. And they have a picture of me with a corn on the cob and my teeth missing. Be like, "Hey, can you?" And then I'm like, this is how I want to be remembered. No. I did a bunch of other stuff on the show where I looked cool and suave.
Good. They made me up. I wore like a nice thing on.
I came on as myself multiple times.
Weekend Update, you asshole.
Just dressed like me.
Yeah.
You could have just maybe did that.
Yeah. That's so cool.
I've been exposed to every version of that type of guy, and especially it gets way weirder when it's like I would open for Jost. He'll like bring you out on the road. Shout out to Jost. He'll bring you on the road and show you life can get really nice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's like I'm doing as well as I've ever done, but there's
so many more levels,
several more rungs that you can climb to.
Were you doing that with Molly?
No, we never did it together. Molly and I never were on the same runs.
Okay. I saw Molly on that.
Shout out to my homie Molly.
Yeah, they started here in Chicago as well.
I knew. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Molly's the fucking best, dude.
Molly's like
so funny.
Legitimately like one of the best people I've ever known.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like, I've been around pretty much every type of successful person and famous person, and oftentimes they're not that cool. You know what I'm saying? Oftentimes there are people that I would not recommend who are really at the top of their like game in the industry. Molly is a person that it always just makes me feel really happy when I see somebody who's like having success. Now Molly's on that income. You know what I'm saying? Dude. And that's network bread. Come on. You know, so like Molly's really up and doing well, and Molly is like legitimately like one of the best people I know. It makes me so happy to see them like thriving like that.
Big tap. Molly kicked so much ass when we first met.
Yeah, brother.
It felt like within the first hour, it felt like it was like a cousin of mine. Like straight up.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Because I think Molly's also from like a big Irish family that also enjoys drinking.
The Carneys, yes.
Yeah.
Of course. The Carneys and the Ryans, y'all knew each other somewhere down the line.
For sure, absolutely.
The Carneys and the Ryans have been fighting for generations.
For years, boys.
For years, boys. Don't they all now?
You bring your rocks this year?
Yes. Oh, man. So, all right, we ask every guest this question, and we're kind of probably approaching sort of towards the end here.
Yeah,
but,
okay, great.
What is your favorite animal?
Damn, I didn't know what this was gonna be.
I did love how you brought it serious for a second. I'm like, I'm just gonna let this.
What?
Yeah.
What is your favorite animal?
I thought you were gonna be like, hey, so we wanted to talk to you about something. So you've made some mistakes.
Friends and family of Devon.
We're like, bring him in.
Ooh, my favorite animal.
It can be more than one too. You don't have to.
Don't limit yourself,
it's hard to
dude.
Choose sometimes.
My favorite animal. I've always fucked with what Pandas got going on.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Because it feels like as a big guy, I feel like there's a there's something really beautiful about something that like could snap you in half if they wanted to, but just is like, no, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
I'm chilling. I'm not trying to be, I'm not like the fucking grizzly bears. I'm not doing that shit. I'm not roaring at you. I'm laying down. I'm having a snack. Don't fuck with me.
These claws?
I weigh 2,000 pounds. I can.
Bamboo.
Yeah. But this is, I'm just kind of.
I can, but I'd rather not.
I'm not really into that. I'm not on that type of time right now.
I love a panda. They've got that lazy, like, lazy power to them.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's something really, really beautiful about something that can snap you in half, but just is not in the mood right now.
Yeah. And they'll be like clumsily falling out of a tree, eating bamboo, and then they'll fall and just keep eating the bamboo.
And then they roll. They're like,
yeah. Those are really good.
That's a good vibe. I can see you. You've got a very chill energy to you. A panda energy.
I try to.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. Do you guys ever like, the other day I was with, y'all know Ryan Donahue?
Oh yeah.
I love Ryan.
Yeah. I love Ryan, dude.
I was with Donahue.
We're good buddies.
And like I straight up like almost got in a fist fight with this security guard. And it is like probably like once a year there will be a moment where I feel like there's something, I'm so calm all of the time. And I just feel like every now and again, I'm sorry, I know we're trying to get out of here. But
no, we're good.
I went to this, my dad's from Pennsylvania. He raised me to be an Eagles fan. And so I went to an Eagles bar on Sunday, and it was like jam packed. And I stood in front of this table, and for whatever reason, some guy comes out like immediately. He's like, "Hey man, you can't stand in front of the table." Like there was nobody at it. There was like a bucket with like raffle tickets or something like that in it. But that was it. Like nobody was sitting there. I wasn't blocking anybody's view. He was like, no standing in front of the table. He's like, you got to be over here. And so I like moved over a little bit. And he goes, man, move over a little bit more. And I thought that I did it. And then he came over one more time and he was just like, man, I'm not going to tell you again. You cannot be in front of the table. And then he kind of like starts to like nudge my arm. And it really, you guys have been around me. I'm like.
Very chill.
Something about him nudging my arm. I was like, and I was like, you know what? I gotta go.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta go. Like, so every now and then,
sports bar for a big game like that.
Well,
like
a couple times a year, I'll pop off. But
it's so inconsequential, and it's always a security guard or the doorman.
Power trip guys.
Who's like become a little lord of their little fiefdom.
Sure.
And the table is where they can enforce their fucking authority over you.
His kids don't listen to him, but you have to.
You have to.
He hasn't talked to him in a while, actually.
Yeah.
And when they come over, they don't respect him.
Yeah, and they stand in front of the table. They don't give a fuck about
his fucking rules.
It did feel like that.
Yeah, that shit is so annoying. I used to deliver. I was like an Uber Eats delivery person for a really long time, and it was like during the pandemic, and I was on my bike, and I would deliver stuff into like these big high rises, and the door people, when I would like put it in the wrong place, they're like, you can't put it there. And I'm like, of course I don't know.
Sure.
I've never been here before.
I don't live here, man.
It's like you at that
All
bar.
these
They're
rules
like,
are new to me.
I don't know about the table. Fuck you.
Exactly.
Like, and don't touch me. I was like,
yeah, exactly.
Definitely don't touch.
No.
Yeah,
Definitely not touch.
Definitely not touch. Yeah. What's your favorite animal this week, Matty?
Ooh, this week I didn't.
Mine changes all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know,
what did I? Sure.
Right now it's a kea. It's a carnivorous parrot that lives in New Zealand.
Carnivorous parrot?
Yeah.
Does it only eat dead stuff, or does it? They hunt.
They go and they land on the back of a sheep, and then they just start eating it.
Oh, I do know about these things.
It's like a symbiotic kind of relationship.
No, the sheep hates it.
The sheep doesn't like it. The sheep wants
it doesn't like eat bugs off it. It eats its flesh
off of its back.
Oh, it's eating the sheep.
Yeah, it's a one-way relationship.
Oh no, that's really bad for one party.
It's very
that's a parasite.
Yeah.
It's eating meat.
It's like super gnarly.
Oh, I thought you were saying like bugs get in the fur of the sheep and then it's eating the bugs out.
No, it's not like when you see like those little like on an ox's head. You know, sometimes those ones are cool.
Like catching flies. I thought it was one of those.
Or like a remora. No, this is like a freaking vampire parrot.
Oh my god,
that lives in New Zealand. Yeah.
Can the sheeps get them off?
I don't think so. Their beaks are real pointy, and their claws
talons probably click in there.
The sheep have to like do like a fucking back flop.
Yeah, like a barrel roll to get those things off.
But there'll be like several of them, and it'll be like, it's feasting time, boys.
Oh my god.
Well, at least they can't get them off. There's stuff in the ocean that does that, and once it latches, it just eats you slowly until you're dead.
Yeah.
But for could be months. You know what I mean? Oh, I just got chills. The little parasite things are my fucking.
We love this type of stuff.
Nightmare,
dude. It doesn't, but you know it.
Like things that latch and burrow and go in your skin and like lay eggs.
No one likes that. Yeah.
God, we talked about it last week, and I don't want to.
Thank God we don't live in the time of medicine where they're like, yes, we need to leech you. Several leeches on you should get your humors right.
I say it to my homie all the time. I couldn't have been born 1 year earlier than I actually was. was because I need all the stuff. I need all the stuff that makes life nice right now.
Yeah,
anytime before
No
that,
leech medicine.
I wouldn't have made it.
Oh, it's so funny. Well,
What do you think? Is that?
dude, that seems like a good one. That was freaking great. That was
I had a
fun
great
episode.
time. Devin, thank you so much for doing the pod,
Thanks
man.
for having me,
It
yo.
was so great having you in town.
appreciate
So anything you want to plug for the month of like March?
I think I'm doing some dates. I don't know. Just go look me up.
Check 'em out.
Go look me up. I'll have posted wherever I'm.
What's your socials?
I'm at Internet Devon on Instagram. Oh, and also I have my own podcast. It's called My Favorite Lyrics. We truly just like go in and talk about like dumb rap lyrics. The guests bring whatever song they want to talk about, and then we just kind of riff and like make fun of whatever like dumb lyrics they bring.
Oh,
in.
that's
Hell yeah.
fun.
That sounds fun as
It's a
hell.
really good time.
Yeah, heck
so yeah, if y'all are ever in the city,
Definitely.
you're welcome to pull up.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, well, thanks for tuning
Yeah.
in, team, and we'll see you next week. If you're on the Patreon, congrats on seeing it early.
Yeah.
If you're not, get on the Patreon. Those guys saw it way earlier than you did.
Oh, smart.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.